Yeah, that's quite an interesting insight, isn't it? On the universal act of saying goodbye. And I remember I was when I was a monk in Thailand, and I had been away from home maybe 3 years by that time, and I'd have times where I'd feel very homesick, and I was contemplating disrobing and coming back home, but it was still it was in my first year of being a monk, and I knew I wanted to stay, but it was hard at times, and uh, I had a meditation where I went into this experience, and it was a very, very, very difficult week for me around all this stuff, and so I was meditating really hard, right? Because there's a lot of suffering, and I went into some sort of state where I I don't know if they were my past lives, but I had an experience. It was like watching a film, and I saw this this film go by of all of these hundreds and hundreds of lives
Mm.
that had been lived. And in each life, I had had a family and loved ones, and it appeared and then it disappeared, and it appeared and it disappeared. And
Mm.
it was just like I walked into a movie house and there was this movie on the screen, but the movie was in my Alaya consciousness, I guess. And at the end of it, there was this sense, well, this is one more, and this is one more life, and what are you going to do with it? Right? You could disrobe right now and go home, and or you can stay and dive deeper into this practice. So, and that's what I did. But when they give the teachings, the traditional Buddhist teachings, they talk about how what a gift it is to be reborn as a human. If you believe in the world view of that, we have many, many births, and that it's such a rare opportunity to be born human, because as a human, we are in the greatest, we have the best faculties to achieve awakening, and that we shouldn't waste our time. So how many goodbyes have we had? Yeah. Well, it's good to contemplate this. It's good to contemplate this because we need motivation, don't we, for practice, but not like a fear-based motivation, but just understanding that we're part of this universal process, and our duty is to wake up, is to wake up to it. I think our duty is to wake up to it. You know. So, are you awake yet? We've been working on it, right? And it's those moments of waking up. It's those moments of waking up. There's the idea of the Sotapanna the stream enter in Buddhism, and it's the first level, first stage of enlightenment. And according to the Buddhist texts, in this stage, once you attain that stage, you are guaranteed of enlightenment in seven lifetimes. But until we reach that stage, anything can happen. Right? Anything can happen. Just to go further into this worldview, if you lead a bad life or you find yourself in really terrible circumstances and you react in negative ways, then you can create very bad karma for yourself and end up reborn in places that aren't so nice. And so with the advantages that we have, we use them to I talk about it a lot, I think, in these sessions, is to stay with our intention, to connect with this intention in our heart. And it's not about getting enlightened right now, but it's about connecting with that idea of waking up to the underlying universal truth of what it is we are. It's keeping that perspective so we don't waste our time. I always find it so sad to look at people and just to see how empty their lives are. It's I was talking with a friend, the other day, and I'm at that age where, friends of mine are retiring, and people my age are retiring. And, you hear stories, well, we went here and then we went there and we went on this cruise and we went on that cruise. Na, 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 na. And honestly, a lot of times it seems to me that people are just putting in their time. They're just putting in their time. We're young, we have all these ideas, we grow up. Hopefully we're able to actualize some of the things that we wanted to, go see the Rolling Stones or whatever, but to live out some of our dreams, and then typically people get married, they get a career, they have children, and very consumed with that. And a lot of people don't have time to contemplate, to investigate, to look into these things that we're looking into. And then all of that's done. And they've reached their goal, retirement. I retired between the ages of, like 19 and 27. I did it backwards. Apparently I crawled backwards too, so go figure. But what do we value in this life? Yeah, I'm retired now. I'm 55, I'm 58, I'm 60. I don't have to work anymore. Okay, that's great. I mean, that is great. I'm not putting down not needing to work. But what are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your time? You're driving a BMW. Cool. You went on a trek in Nepal. You climbed Mount Everest. Cost you a lot of money. Cool. You spend your winters in Florida. Cool. Whatever. But at our moment of death, what's going to be important? What's going to have meaning? What's going to have meaning? And when we taste the Dharma, that's why we're here, is because intuitively, at least in the beginning, this is of value. This is something of value. I may be poor. I may be in difficult circumstances. But if we have this in our heart, that's something nobody can take away. And it's something I believe that when we are, and you don't have to believe this at all, is when we've really touched it deeply and we continue to cultivate it, then when we come to our next life, it's near. We find circumstances. We find circumstances where we're able to connect with it. And then our path in that life and subsequent lives is moving towards the sacred. It's never far away from us, but our conditioning is such that many, many people don't see it. Many people don't even know it's there. But they've got their car, they've got their house, they've got their cruise on the Rhine. But if you don't have this, I don't know, man. So be happy with what we're doing here. Be happy with what you're doing here. Know that what we're sharing together is really a wonderful gift. And then when we go through those transition periods, or we help others go through those transition periods, we can be grounded in what I'll say. We can be grounded in something that's real, that's something that's true. Even though it's spirit, we can be grounded in that. We can be grounded in that for our friends, for our loved ones. I was going to read something. I don't know now what it was. I know it's here. Yeah. So this is just some old notes from Namgyal Rinpoche that I came across today, and in a way, this is sort of winding down this series of teachings, and I just wanted to. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just a couple of points, and it's actually what I've been saying, or one of the things I say, and it bears a repeating. And somehow when Namgyal Rinpoche says it, it's even better. But this is mid paragraph. As the work deepens, the intuitive voice will come. It is most important to develop confidence. Trust your judgment. Don't be a slave to your meditation. Any meditation system is a tool for the mind. You are not the servant of the meditation. It is your servant, and you can use it in creative ways. You use it in ways that you know are liberating. Work with the naming, the questioning in any creative way. Walk with it, sleep with it, whatever. It is a format, but you are not tied into it. It is more like a raft, and you can paint it whatever color you wish. It is important to realize that you can choose how to work. Don't be sloppy, but once you understand the principles, be flexible. When you understand the principles, you will know why there is a need for discipline, and you will come to want more discipline. You will know how to craft the meditation when you see how it strengthens your being. So I think that says pretty good, pretty well, a lot of the things that I've been pointing to this last, actually few years. It's ultimately, you get grounded in the principles. You understand the principles, but then you make the meditation your own. You find your own way with it. We learn to be creative with it. So we always come back. We always come back to ourselves. We always come back to our own intuition. But what I hope I'm doing here is I'm presenting principles, the groundwork for the practice. How can one check on spiritual progress, not only in meditation, but in life? That's a big question. Am I progressing? Well, there are 5 ways to judge growth. More joy is present, more clarity of consciousness, less discursive thought, less go nowhere conversations, more union with what you're doing. That makes sense, right? Just doing what you're doing, whatever it is, you're there. The breathing energy feels balanced rather than there being a sense of swings or energy crises. So we've been connecting with the breath, we've been connecting with the energy flow in the body, we've been developing the joy, right? The bliss. And we've been working with it throughout the day. And through this work, there is a greater sense of balance. There is less swings. It's not to say there's no swings, but they become less. There's more joy. And as we continue with our dedication, with our investigation, with our study of this practice, we are creating, we are connecting with this deep, profound beauty. This sacred, sacred place that we all share. And when the moment comes, when the time comes for a being to pass, to move on, when the moment comes for us to pass, to move on, we have this. We have this. To embrace. Or a better way of saying it is we allow this to embrace us. because really that's what we're doing. That's really what we're doing. At some point in the practice, we're letting go of doing. And we're allowing this to embrace us. We're allowing this to fill us up. And that's true. That's the way it works. Less discursive thought. Less go nowhere conversation, right? And all of what we talk about here, well, all of what we do here is the development of this.